All right, let's just, morning, Chalky. Let's just jump into it, shall we? We've got 4 color gifts to start today off. This is a viewer submitted list that I did some massaging around the edges for. The core of this deck actually comes from the Bant Planeswalkers deck, which is one of the fan favorite lists that you can find on the Modern section of my website. And I kind of like the idea of what this deck is doing. So for those not familiar with Modern, the card Gifts Ungiven can act as a double entomb, which means it can take any two cards from our deck and just put them in our discard pile. So basically what you can do is you can cast Gifts Ungiven and fetch the card Unburial Rites and Elesh Norn that both go to your graveyard, and then you can put Elesh Norn into play as a way to disrupt creature decks. Post-board against combo decks, we can swap that Elesh Norn for an Iona to lock our opponent out of casting cards of a certain color as early as the 5th turn, or 4th turn actually, with Sakura-Tribe Elder. So the rest of the deck is kind of blue-white control style stuff. We get some Path to Exile, Snapcaster Mages, Sweepers, Planeswalkers. So let's go ahead and dive into some matches here, shall we? Morning, CST. Morning, boss. Hope everyone had a great weekend, having a great start to your week. Dive on in with some Modern to start. This looks like less tedious blue-white, but also probably less good. Yeah, it's probably not an unreasonable comparison. I like how someone sees a blue-white slant and blue-white top and immediately goes, what did Justin donate? Now, this is, I don't think this was a Justin deck. No, this one was waiting in the queue for a bit. When Justin donates, he doesn't wait. How do you do, fellow millennials? What's going on, Admiral? Good morning. Yeah, like, as we played 2 leagues with blue-red Phoenix last week, and I think Rock is a really good choice in a field full of Phoenix. And I think if you're hedging your deck to beat Phoenix a little bit, it's also not a big deal to hedge your deck to beat Dredge, especially if you're like playing like main deck Kalitas and stuff like that. Seems more than reasonable. Let's just jump right in, shall we? This seems fine. I've got a couple of Path to Exiles for early interaction. I've got a Sakura-Tribe Elder to ramp up. I got plenty of lands. Confusion is bliss. Thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for shipping your Prime this way again. Hope you're having a good start to your week. So, Hallowed Fountain, Aether Vial, Likely Spirits. That's annoying. I do have 1 Watery Grave in my deck, which this can fetch up. I think I want to get a basic forest here and preserve my health total a little bit, just because my opponent's likely playing Spirits, which is an aggressive strategy. Ginger Cakes, thanks for the 20 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Morning, C Unit. And I was watching Jim Davis the other day, and he said, so you're saying there's a chance, and my brain was very confused, but there was no song afterwards. Well, you know. Ooh, oh, this is really awkward. So, I guess I'm fetching a green source here. The mana is definitely a little bit taxed in this deck, right? And maybe I shouldn't have fetched a basic forest with the Windswept Heath, but like, we have double green cards. And I guess the extra awkward thing about this particular hand is that I drew the 1 Unburial Rites, right? Like, normally you're not casting this card. Good morning, Lumbering Falls. Thank you for the 5 months. Welcome back. Yeah, that's fine, Chucky. You are always welcome to change up Whatever you'd like to do. You just, I think I already added your deck to the queue. If you can drop me a DM and let me know which deck that was, I'd be happy to swap it out for you. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I might get my chains rattled here. Nope. Alright. I'd really love to have a land on top of my deck here, so that way I can play this Teferi out, and then plus him and hold up Negate / Path to Exile. Ding, ding, ding. And yeah, I'm definitely just heading to the Space Jam here. They are playing Spirits, and usually Spirits doesn't have a way to counter a 5-drop like this game 1. Do I attack? I'm not going to attack because sometimes their deck plays things like Thalia. And like the 2 points of damage aren't super meaningful here. Oh yeah, you submitted the Twilight Prophet build around, yep. Swap Twilight build around for Esper Party Bus. Got it. Thanks for the tier 3 resub, Chalky. I really appreciate that. It's very generous. So, Eternal Witness finds Path to Exile again, which is sweet. Teferi gives Courser extra chances to hit a land off the top of my deck, which is also excellent. Misty Rainforest, with its shuffle effect, gives me a little bit of selection with Courser showing me the top card of my deck. I feel like we're solidly sliding into garbage time here, but if they hit an exceptionally good string of draws, maybe they could be in this. So I basically just need to make sure they don't get, like, Dub's Drogskull into play. Or I just have a Supreme Verdict on top, so Dub's Drogskull wouldn't matter. Won't you take me to Value Town? Won't you take me to doo-doo? Beep 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 beep. Beep 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 beep. Do 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 do. Seeing how I spend more time in Hooglandia than actually playing Magic, I think tier 3 is excellent EV. Excellent. You are not the only one I've heard say something along those lines. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and path this Drogskull in response, because I think there's a chance that my opponent puts another Drogskull into play here. And I have this Negate to cover should they have Collected Company with the extra land I just gave them. Is this an alt Teferi type deck? Games in Modern usually don't get to that point. Usually they're over before then. Yeah, exactly, Twister. I agree with that sentiment. This is the type of game that makes people addicted to this style of archetype. Yep. Wouldn't be surprised to see this one attack Teferi. Yeah, so this one... Oh, they're both attacking Teferi. Interesting. Alright, before I make decisions on blocks, I'm going to go ahead and try and path this Selfless Spirit and see if that happens. They could have a Drogskull Captain off of this. They do not. Okay, so... I guess this could Spell Queller me next turn. I'm getting punished for not holding the Courser back, which is probably a mistake. Geist's Draft isn't super common in the main deck of these decks anymore, so I wasn't really playing around it, and maybe I should have been. Alright, so there's a Plains on top of my deck here, so before I draw with Teferi, I'm going to go ahead and fetch a Shock Land. I have this Unburial Rites in my hand, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this. That is a land, another land on top of my deck. That's unfortunate. Yeah, like I said, we are heading into garbage time unless something along the lines of this happens. So I've already played a land for the turn. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I guess I just let this come into play tapped. I'm going to start with Supreme Verdict here. I think there's a good chance we get Spell Quellered. Yep. So, Supreme Verdict can't be countered. However, Spell Queller isn't technically countering our spell. It's exiling it, so that's awkward. It's unfortunate we're not drawing the opt here. So, all is not lost just yet. I'm still at 18. They're going to get to kill my Planeswalker. But next turn, I get to Unburial Rites, my Eternal Witness, which picks up Path to Exile, which lets me path the Spell Queller, which then recasts the Supreme Verdict. Plus we have this opt on top. What's going on, Karma? Good morning. We're Reflector Maging my Courser. Yeah, that seems fine. All right, well, if they don't have another Spell Queller, or if they don't have Spell Queller or Rattle Chains, this Unburial Rites should put us in a pretty good spot. Yeah, I agree. Those cards hitting Supreme Verdict are definitely one of those. Magic is easy and intuitive to understand type moments for a lot of people. So Unburial Rites, my Eternal Witness. This is not why this card's in our deck, but not here to complain. The Unburial Rites package is actually pretty bad in this matchup, just because they have like Reflector Mage and Paths, and our Elesh Norns don't really do all the things. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Actually, I'm not going to do it now, right? I'm going to wait 30 seconds and do it on their upkeep. The reason why I do this on their upkeep... Oh, I guess doing on their upkeep's fine, because if they collected company, I have Negate. This way, if they have another Spell Queller, they have to use the Aether Vial now. This also means the land from the Path to Exile is tapped. Goodbye, friends. Alright, sweet. So, I think they had a chance to bridge there, but the fact that we had that happen is good. I'm going to hold on to this opt for a second, because the opt could potentially be more valuable with Courser in play. So, like, do I want Mana Leak? I really don't. So I'm going to crack this fetch. I'm going to go ahead and grab a Hallowed Fountain here. Yeah, I'll grab Hallowed Fountain. Ooh, that's a good one. So let's go ahead and cast Opt and keep Elspeth. Theo, can you please drop me an email letting me respond to my email submission and let me know which day you sent bits, and let me know which account to look for the bits from so I can add that accordingly. And I'll take care of that tonight after the stream. Good morning, Tickled. Thank you for the 4 months. Welcome back. Insert Wit. Thanks for cashing in the Prime support. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, Spirits. Mana Leak and Negate aren't particularly good here. Elesh Norn seems not great. Honestly, I might keep this Unburial Rites just because Baneslayer is fine. I'm like, getting my Eternal Witness back there was fine. These Dispels might be okay. Stopping Collected Company is pretty important, and doing it for 1 mana is quite excellent. This is not a Disenchant matchup, or Rest in Peace, or Stony Silence, or Damping Sphere. I got 61 cards at the moment. Dispel versus Cryptic Command. Cryptic's probably better. I probably just Mize a Dispel. Yeah, let's just Mize the Dispel. Is this just the dumbest of mid-range decks? I mean, you'll probably argue we're a control deck. We've got 3 sweepers, and we've got a pseudo combo finish, and like Teferi's doing controlling things. I think the only time we resemble anything close to mid-range is like when we have a fast Gideon of the Trials draw. But even that's pretty slow by modern standards. Like it's like by no means like a Tarmogoyf opener. As double Optane might be a little bit slow, but the opponent's deck isn't super fast. So I think it's fine. Mausoleum Wanderer route. So I'm actually going to try and bait my opponent here a little bit. I'm going to cast Opt before I play my land, hoping that they'll take it as a sign of weakness and use the Mausoleum Wanderer to counter my Opt. Man, Day of Judgment's worse than Supreme Verdict in this matchup. I think I still keep this. I think that's worth keeping. Moderning's going all right, Yuka. We are still very early. This is match 1, game 2. Morning, RX. Happy Monday. The Spirits of Counter Magic that isn't Spellqueller. Post board, I believe they often have copies of Negate or Unified Will or possibly Dispel. Mausoleum Wanderer is also a card that is a counterspell of sorts. Do anything fun this weekend? No, nothing too special. Yeah, we play Arena every day, RX Kennedy. We actually play Magic Online every day too to start the day. So as always, you can find my schedule on my website. And keep that up to date. We do 1 Magic Online League to start the morning, and usually we start into Arena about 9:30 or so. The only thing I am going to comment on regarding Faithless Looting in Modern is that I think it is absurd that we have people who parrot things like cards like Stoneforge Mystic and Birthing Pod restrict the design space of Modern and Magic the Gathering, but things like Faithless Looting don't also do the same thing. So I understand the argument about things restricting design space, and I think it's nonsense that people make that argument while simultaneously being mostly okay with things like Faithless Looting existing. And here's as someone who's played a lot of Modern and has been around the block for a while, here's what you need to understand. Things like Faithless Looting, they aren't going anywhere. Modern is for a long time, I'm not going to say always, because it hasn't always been this way, but for a long time, Modern has been this very linear, degenerate pile of nonsense. And Wizards of the Coast is on record when the, what's it called, ban just happened recently, saying they think the format is fine and healthy. So if you don't think Modern is healthy and you don't enjoy the play patterns in this format, you should stop playing it. It's okay to not like Modern. Not every format of Magic has to appeal to every person. And if the play patterns of Dredge and Phoenix and other decks like Tron don't appeal to you personally, that's okay. Standard's great. Limited's great. Legacy's great. Commander's great. All these different things that allow you to play Magic in different ways are wonderful. Don't pigeonhole yourself into trying to make Modern something it's not. Either embrace Modern for what it is, or move on with your life. There's tons of different ways to play Magic that are not Modern, if Modern's not your jam. If Modern's turned into something that's not your jam. Yeah, so we're playing a day. Someone in chat just commented on, we have Day of Judgment, Wrath of God, and Supreme Verdict as a three-way split, because the card Gifts Ungiven here simply says you have to find cards of different names. So basically, by playing 3 different cards that kill all the creatures with different names, this allows Gifts Ungiven to find a sweeper when we need it to. It just scares you to buy cards for the format. And I mean, and that's part of the problem with it being expensive, right? Like, Magic's not cheap. At the end of the day, the other thing you need to understand is, like, the things that are really expensive are, like, Scalding Tarns, right? So, like, Scalding Tarns aren't going anywhere. Like, regardless of what they ban, it's not going to be the fetch land, so, you know, you can kind of rest easy that way. Maybe actually, the Gifts is probably bad there because the Unburial Rites combo is not good here. Yeah, I probably should bottom that. No, and, like, no, I understand where you're coming from, Richard. It's like, people come in here, and, like, you hear it for standard decks too, right? People are like, is this deck tiered? Is it good? Because they want that validation or that reassurance from someone who's played a lot of Magic that, like, what they're about to spend their money on is gonna be worthwhile. And at the end of the day, I don't really know more than the rest of you. I'm just kind of here along for the ride, just like everybody else. And I get and that, like, Twitch kind of breeds that culture in a way, right? Like, people go into other channels, and a lot of other streamers will give that validation. They'll act like they have some big, high knowledge that they don't really have. It's like, I don't really know more than you do. And I'm sorry, I wish I did. I wish I could, like, reassure you and be like, everything's going to be okay. I know the future, but I just don't. I don't like to pretend that I do. Be Rich, thanks for the 1.5 years. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I should have bottomed this. Baneslayer is pretty good here, especially considering we're on the play and my opponent's start isn't particularly aggressive. You'd be a lot cooler if you're dead. You're not wrong. You don't know the future. Unsubbed. Yep. I really don't need triple white. I just, like, get my Watery Grave in case we draw the stupid Unburial Rites. Probably. Mirror, thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I understand that this Day of Judgment might just 1-for-1 with the Selfless Spirit, but I'm kind of okay with that. Really just want to spend my mana this turn. You could maybe argue that I should, like, end step Gifts Ungiven. Alright, so we're 1-for-1ing with the Selfless Spirit. What are the standard decks today? You can always find all the decks we're planning to play in a given stream, barring any cuts from big donations, in both the stream title as well as the deck queue on my website. So you can find the archetype names in the title, and you can find links to the deck lists specifically in the deck queue. Always try and make sure the information that you want is accessible. At the end of the day, the thing that I think is most important to understand, I think too many people view Magic as an investment. And in my opinion, if the amount of money you're about to spend on Magic the Gathering cards can't be money that you just, like, light on fire, like, if your emergency fund for should something catastrophic happen to you is Magic cards, that's probably not the best spot to be in. Alright, we've died. So, anytime you're buying Magic cards, I think the question you should ask yourself is, am I going to get X dollars of enjoyment out of this thing that I'm buying? And if I'm not going to get $1,000 worth of enjoyment out of buying a $1,000 modern deck, then I shouldn't buy the modern deck. And if at some point in the future you like take those cards and turn them back into money, that should be a bonus, not the end goal, especially if you're playing with them. I saw that you removed Esper Control from your standard list. Is that because you believe? I never had standard Esper Control on the standard decks page on my website, Meister Clickington. So again, what you need to understand about the standard decks and the modern decks page on my website too is those aren't exhaustive lists. Those aren't every deck in the format. Those are decks that I've played a few times on stream that I have strong preferences for how they should be built. Hey, HS Orissus, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a good start to your week. Thanks for keeping me around. How much for Vintage Dredge or some other Vintage? Vintage would be a minimum of a $100 donation. Formats that I don't normally play are larger tickets because there's generally less excitement surrounding them. Morning, Cassie. Hope you're having a good one. I have the Doritos scale. Can I afford the same amount of money in snacks? If so, I buy. I compare my purchases. I use a similar scale, Dows, only it's burrito based. How many burrito bowls would this buy me at Chipotle? This stream is in no way sponsored or endorsed by Chipotle, but Chipotle, if you're out there, it certainly could be. Let's talk. You had it there at one point. There was never an Esper control deck on my website, Meister Clickington. Are you referring to the Esper Amulet deck? The kind of Nexus combo deck? If so, I do think that combo deck is just much worse than the Wilderness Reclamation deck. So yes, I did take that one off. But like traditional Esper control never had a page on my standard decks page. Man, we are just getting beat up here. The Gifts Ungiven, their clock's a little bit slow here. So like Gifts Ungiven for Rites plus Elesh Norn could steal this game. Broken, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. What's my order at Chipotle? My go-to is a burrito bowl with brown rice, fajita veggies, no beans, cheese, corn salsa, mild salsa, extra cheese, guac, extra cheese on top of the guac. And then you assure them that no, that's not enough cheese. You can put a little bit more on there. Broken, I think I got you. But anyways, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. And the Oratog, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. For the record, just to give my opinion on Esper Control, I think Esper Control is great. I think it's one of the better decks in Standard right now. When you hit your land drops and your answers line up well, Esper's basically unbeatable. The deck is super powerful. That's unbeatable, basically, right? Like, I can give it the D here with the D Sphere, but the fact that I didn't draw a path or a land, the Scavenging Ooze keeps us from using Gifts Ungiven to get something into play. Might be a fast morning for Modern. This archetype is really kind of clunky and slow, and even our opponent's kind of mid-rangey deck just ran us firmly out of the gates. I don't think this is an archetype that I would accept again since I've tightened up my acceptance criteria, but we have a little bit of a backlog, so there's a few really fair decks like this that are just kind of clunky and slow for the current Modern format that we're going to have to work our way through. Can I D-Sphere the Scullers and Path the Ooze? Yeah, maybe that would work. What is a Snowland? A Snowland, so there are some really old Magic cards from Cold Snap and then Ice Age that specifically care about the snow subtype. So basically, Snowlands are basic land with an extra subtype tacked onto them. And the reason why that's relevant is the card Gifts Ungiven says you search your deck for cards with different names. So basically, Snow Island and Island have different names. So you're able to... Snow Island and Island have different names, so you're able to find both of them with a Gifts Ungiven. So it's a super corner case swap that makes your Gifts Ungiven marginally better if you want to find lands with it. Great, you got some Path to Exiles. You feel like the overhead lighting is keeping you from appreciating the pink here. The pink's kind of, it's mostly faded out at this point, especially on the top. I think I'm actually going to be cutting the top of my head soon. It's getting a little bit long for my liking. Normally I keep it pretty short. I would have cut it a while ago if it wasn't for the pink. No, Thing in the Ice is completely unrelated to Snowlands. So an example of a card that cares about Snowlands is this card, Scred. Deals damage to a permanent equal number of snow permanents you control. So you can see this says basic snow land. So like Scred cares about the snow subtype. Hey, Fab Man. Thank you for the Prime support. Hope you're having a good Monday. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. This gives me my Gifts Ungiven back, which means I can gifts for Elesh plus a thing next turn. This is rude. Lassie, thanks for the Prime. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for tripping your Beza bucks this way this month. I appreciate it. And Gazni, thank you for the 12 months. I knight thee, Defender of the Realm. Go forth and protect us from Twitch chat. Can you get a timeout for 2 months? Of course, Fab Man. We live to please. We're going to go ahead and just path this Tidehollow Scholar here. Maybe I'm supposed to get Temple Garden there, so I have a second green, but I guess I have the basic forest, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, Sun's Champion is pretty good in these creature matchups if we live to get there. So hopefully they put creatures into play this turn that die to Elesh Norn that aren't Scavenging Ooze is ideal. Magic. So this card, for people not familiar, it exiles cards from graveyards. So I can't just go get Elesh Norn now. Do I even have a combination of things worth getting? I really don't, right? Excellent. Excellent. Never didn't have it. Bye, friends. Yeah, we'll see them eat the Path to Exiles here, which makes sense because they know we have this Eternal Witness. Magic's much easier when you just think about the cards you want to draw and then draw it. It's like, what would be the Stone Cold Perfects here? This one? I guess that's technically not true. Path to Exile would have been better there, right? Because if I drew Path, I could have Pathed the Ooze and played Gifts this turn still. Do 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 do. Sheriff Wiggles, thanks for the $10 tip. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good Monday. Where's my dashboard at? Like one of your finest temple gardens, please. Morning. Could you put this towards the Polyrunner deck? Will do, Sheriff. Which modern decks do I enjoy? I really like the 4-color Vanifear deck that we've been playing. I think that one's really sweet. I really enjoy things like Grishelbrand. Things like Storm are fun to play. Actually don't mind Dredge, except some of the sideboard games with Dredge kind of suck, but I don't mind it in general. Basically, I like playing good modern decks. I like playing decks that have a proactive linear game plan that also have a small smidgen of interaction mixed in. Well, that's rude. I guess if they Stone Rain me and I draw a land, though, I get to slam this Elspeth Sun's Champion, and that's probably lights out. You enjoy Blue-Red Phoenix? Blue-Red Phoenix has actually felt really middling every time we've played it. I don't find the linear game plan on the Phoenix deck to be especially powerful, and it's not super interactive. So you can actually watch us play Phoenix twice last week. We played it on Thursday and Friday, and it was kind of mediocre both times we played it. And look, I get that I'm saying that, and it just had a great weekend, but that's been my experience playing it. I'm sure it's wonderful. I'm sure it's powerful. I just don't find the gameplay patterns that it plays particularly stimulating or interesting. It feels like a very typical modern deck in that your opponent draws the hate cards and you die. Or they don't draw the hate cards, then your linear thing runs them over. Alright. Alright. Well, I was gonna play the Sun's Champion. But then old Snappy Boy showed up ready to take one for the team. So let's just do that. I'm doing this right away because if they get to untap with the Scavenging Ooze, I won't be able to Snapcaster. Do vintage once a month, maybe, Chalky. The biggest problem with trying to do vintage, like I mentioned in the video, is that it kind of has to be done off stream, or I have to do an extra weekend stream, and I don't think I'm doing any weekend streams till after War of the Spark is there. They took my Gifts Ungiven and left me with the Sun's Champion. I think even though I was just a professional and drew gifts again, I'd rather just get the Sun's Champion going here. I think the play patterns it generates are much more tedious and annoying than Twin, though, Be Rich. Like, Twin, you could just play removal. The Arclight Phoenix deck, you have to play Graveyard Hate, too. Oh, that's why they left us this. Got it. Seems good. Do you think the Rock is good deck, even though it's not linear or powerful combo? I mean, the Rock has some very good aggressive draws. The Rock doesn't generate, like, turn 4 kills, but it definitely can kill by turn 5 and 6 with some consistency. And it's got the best interaction Modern has to offer in it. Yeah, the Rock is very reasonable. I especially think with Phoenix and Dredge being some top decks in the format, that Rock is more than reasonable, just because the Rock lines up well into decks like Phoenix, if you have a little bit of Graveyard Hate. Especially considering green-black can, like, reasonably main deck Kalitas. Kalitas is a card that's like really well positioned in Modern at the moment. Yeah, anyone who's thinking about playing Green-Black Rock, I would encourage you to proxy to Green-Black Rock or Jund decks, or Green-Black Rock and Jund, and play the mirror 12 times. And if you don't hate yourself after playing the Green-Black Rock mirror match a bunch, that deck is great and you should play it a ton. However, as someone who's played the Green-Black Rock mirror a number of times, I find it exceptionally miserable. It might be one of the least skill-intensive matches of Magic I have ever played. It is super, super swingy and basically mono top decks. If they have a Scavenging Ooze in their hand, I'm going to be really sad here, because they're going to get to put it into play off this Aether Vial and eat my Elesh Norn when I flash back Unburial Rites. Yeah, I agree, Pokemon Nerd. I firmly agree with that assessment. I like the fact that being middling in terms of your amount of disruption generally is not a good place to be in Modern, but the Rock's basically all in. Yeah, Humans is fine. Humans is on the laundry list of like 40 decks that you can play and be fine. Yeah, I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. I wonder if I want Disenchant in my deck. Disenchant kills Tidehollow Sculler, and it also kills Aether Vial. It's probably not unreasonable. When I cut an Opt and bring in a Disenchant, just be a little bit more interactive. I enjoy Thoughtseize mirrors because I'm the luckiest possible. That's an A+ response. It does kill Revoker too, doesn't it? Good call. Yeah, I don't know that I want to bring in 2 Disenchants, but the first one seems more than fine. This hand's a little slow, but my opponent's deck isn't super fast. I think it's in the realm of okay. So, the first Aether Vial is annoying. The second Aether Vial is a lot less annoying, though, because while it does give them some utility, Aether Vials are really just mana sources in a way. So, like, in a way, my opponents played 4 mana sources in 8 of their cards so far. So they just have, like, 1 or 2 more lands, or God forbid another Aether Vial. Like, they're not going to have that much actual action going on in their hand, which is really good for us. That is a Cryptic Command there, as far as ugly frames go. As far as things with hideous frames are concerned. So if they don't take this Day of Judgment, I think I'm actually going to fetch a basic Plains and just 1-for-1 this Day of Judgment. Since they have Selfless Spirit in play already, and I don't have a piece of spot removal in sight. I mean, most of the Invocations are great cards. They're just kind of hideous. And they're difficult to recognize. They don't really look like Magic cards. They're kind of indistinguishable in paper, too. The font that they used for the title bar in paper is not ideal. Yeah, I agree. I really love the art in a lot of the Invocations, but the border just ruins them for me. All right. Gone fishing. You shall be judged. Don't you want some judgment? Don't you want some judgment? Am I a Knight of Hoaglandia? You are, Schwingy. Thank you for the 12 months of support. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. And thanks for keeping me around. I'm going to go ahead and just cash this in. I'm going to trade this Day of Judgment for their board here. We're also flooding a little bit here, but I have Snapcaster Mage. I'm getting a Cryptic Command back, so probably okay. We've played a con with Nameless Inversion before. I think there's actually an Abzan list on my website with that combination in it. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of playing with foils and paper either. Time me out in the memory of the many plebs who are experiencing the eternal timeout. Oh, that's great. Eternal Witness is really annoying here. So I just cast Day of Judgment, and they now have more power in play than previously stated. I think they have to take the Snapcaster Mage here, though, right? Because otherwise they just, like, get to snap Day of Judgment next turn. So, Kismet Gaming, I'd encourage you to email me now, and this time when you post the deck list, create an account on whichever site you've posted the deck list to, like MTG Goldfish, and then you can just update the deck list at the URL you send me as you test and tune it and wait for it to be played. So I always encourage people to think more about the decks that they've submitted and like tune little details, so long as you don't change the archetype. Working on the surrounding details of it is encouraged. And this is a great example of what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, no worries, Kismet. Yeah, if you just drop me an email from the email that I sent you, respond to the email that I gave you approving the deck list and say, hey, this is the new link for the deck that you'll be updating. It's not a big deal. I guess Celestial Colonnade here is even just kind of like gonna brick wall them, right? Because they like have 2/2/2s and I have a 4/4. Auto yield to all of these. So I'll have 1, 2, 3 for the vials. Cometh at my Celestial Colonnade. Yeah, that's what I thought. Nice 2/2s. Man, if we had like a Teferi, we could solidly slide this into garbage time. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I'm supposed to leave a fetch land uncracked because I have Courser of Kruphix as a draw. That might be the case. My opponent's playing some kind of Abzan bad cards. There's like Abzan Aether Vial, Abzan Company. Company's probably the descriptor we want, right? They're Abzan 2-power creatures that get found by Collected Company. Yeah, they're a Collected Company deck that's not leaning into a combo. Just like the fairest of the fair. Alright, so they found a way to kill this. Oh, Flicker Wisp. Fulminator Mage. Okay. Let's get rid of this Tidehollow Sculler. Aetherworks plus Zakama. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So, like, and this is actually, it's actually a great example of why, well, I just feel smart and thin. It's actually a great example of why predicting the future with Magic is something that I try to shy away from. So, like, last set, people were asking me, all right, Jeff, where do you want the new non-rotating format to start? And I was like, I want it to start with Ixalan because this format's great. But with the introduction of Wilderness Reclamation and Nexus of Fate, if they're just like gonna have all those cards be legal in the new format, I kind of don't really mind if they include Amonkhet and even Kaladesh, because if the format's gonna have some rancid stuff in it to start, we might as well just have it shaken up and get a lot of variety into it. Have a deep card pool to work with. So before this set, I would have told you I wanted to start with Ixalan. As of right now, like if it were to start right now, I'd want it to include more sets than that. What does deck normally want to gifts for? So there is, the thing you need to know about Gifts Ungiven is that you can use Gifts Ungiven to put 2 cards of your choosing into your graveyard. And in this specific instance, the 2 cards that we're putting into, well, that's incredibly annoying. The 2 cards that we're putting into our graveyard are Unburial Rites plus Elesh Norn. Oh, that was a really good last card to have. So I get 2 shots at an untapped land on top of my deck. Because if I hit an untapped land here, I can snap path their Phyrexian Revoker. Alright, I swung and I missed twice. There is a Day of Judgment in my discard pile. I have no idea, Cassie. It's just like speculation like that just isn't useful because we don't know what the format's actually going to look like. We don't know like what new cards are getting printed in this next set or in the set following or in the set in the fall too that are definitely going to be included in this format. So if they attack both of these at me, we chump block with Courser. If they attack both of them at God bless America, my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of the I sing. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm obligated to block one of these. I'm gonna flash in Snapcaster Mage, I think. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lands. So if I flash in Snapcaster Mage and block the Revoker, I get to keep Courser. And then if there's a land on top of my deck, I can Baneslayer. Actually, I can just double block this, right? Yeah, let's just double block this. And this unlocks my Elspeth. How long do we play Modern for? We play Magic Online till about 9:30 every morning. So another 50 minutes or so usually. So this lets them eat my Courser and put me to 3, but it unlocks my Sun's Champion. And I'm putting Baneslayer Angel into play. If I tap out for Baneslayer, I am dead to Flicker Wisp. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I agree, Marja. Magic formats are really complicated, right? Like, we talk a lot on the stream about how the power level of everything is contextual to the format in which it's being played. So, like, cards that made for bad standard formats could make for fine new format because there'll be other things included with them. Tireless Tracker is a heck of a drug. Yeah, honestly, I think this current set, I hope they go back to Eldritch Moon, because I would like to play with Eldritch Evolution. It's a pretty good pickup. So, hoping to draw a piece of removal for the silly little Revoker. It'll do, pig. It'll do. So, the fact that we hit the old D-Sphere here means that I can start attacking with this Baneslayer Angel because Elspeth's going to be on her way up. Red Mage Frank, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub. Hope you're having a good one. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, so this game should be locked up at this point between Cryptic Command, Baneslayer, Elspeth. Should be solidly locked. So, like, the reason why I think Eldritch Moon's a reasonable request is because, remember, whatever they go back to, they have to have programmed into Arena by the fall. And I think expecting programmed back to Origins by the fall is pretty unrealistic. I think that's unlikely to happen. So I'm over blocking, so that way even if they township, their things still die. Obviously, they get to kill all of my stuff. For my tier 3 resub, do I submit a new deck same as usual and just check off? Yep, exactly, Red Mage. Is exactly correct. Elspeth and Teferi are the power couple Modern didn't know it needed. It's really cute that we're still playing Magic. Oh no, you got to resolve Collected Company while I was tapped off of my Cryptic Command. Silly opponent, this card will definitely save you. Not Flicker Wisp. Oh, no. Jeff Vader, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. So they do get to take my Cryptic Command. And Flicker Wisp is temporary, so that'll be coming back here in a moment. My Courser's dead, so I'm just going to put this land into play. Elspeth is ulting in 2 turns. Make my dudes huge. Xbox huge. I suppose if they, like, rip running Flicker Wisp, maybe they can, like, take my Baneslayer off the table for a turn and, like, pressure my Planeswalkers. Alright, onward, upward, backward, forward. This might be a 4-match set with this deck. Control decks tend to take a while. So we've got 50 minutes in our Modern segment left here. And I started a little bit early, right? Yeah, we've already been playing for an hour. I started 20 minutes early. Little bad. Thank you for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Do you think the need to program the mechanics into Arena can influence the design space of future sets? So, the design team has been working with the digital teams for a long time. There's an article that goes back to that was posted during Eldritch Moon's design that talked about working with the digital team to make sets of Magic happen. We're just like 3 for 3 on playing against Aether Vial deck so far today. Well, we drew a 3rd land, but it is unfortunately not a 2nd white source. This is going to grab Temple Garden. It's like Bant Spirits again. This matchup's probably pretty rancid for us. We pretty handily lost it in the first match. Spirits tends to be really good against decks like what we're playing. And not only do we, like, not have good mana here, but, like, we've drawn cards like Negate, and we have this Elesh in our opener, so we just have a lot of things that, like, aren't lining up well for us here. If you scroll over on the deck queue on my website, Rionin, you'll see a comments section. So for exceptionally large donations that are $50 plus, I let the person that's donating for it dictate which day the deck gets played on if they prefer. So that Just Guy aggro deck that's listed with a bunch of points will be being played on the 21st. Is there a difference on my end between the $40 one and the plastic one? No, my kickback's the same, Blur. I don't have personal feedback on the quality difference, though. I have the plastic one, and the plastic one's very reasonable. Justin, thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate the 2/3 sphere. Welcome back. And thanks for waiting to use the code, Blur. I appreciate that. Do I want to path something here just to, like, keep their... I think I want to... Nah, I'm just going to let this happen. Because I can rip a White Source and then Wrath of God next turn. I'm sure we're going to stumble and die. Untapped White Source. Yep. Let's do it. So now I'm going to go ahead and path at this point. Because if they have Spell Queller, they'll hopefully use it on the path. And then my Wrath of God's more likely to resolve. Should I be able to draw a White Source? It's funny, I actually added a land from the deck submission someone had sent me for this. They sent in 24 lands and I added a 25th. It's because I do like hitting my land drops. I also actually added 2 White Sources to the deck too. So I added a 3rd Colonnade and I cut a dual land for another fetch. Alright, do you have another Spell Queller? Are we playing against one of the other 50% of the modern metagame that doesn't run Faithless Looting? Yes, exactly, SCTR. We're in the Aether Vial bracket today, apparently. We've hit 2 Spirits, then Absent Hate Bears. I think he means what we're playing against, Burgle, more than what we're playing. How is this deck doing? Kinda clunky. Our modern deck has a lot of expensive spells in it, so kinda clunky is usually an apt definition. I'm gonna play Teferi here, even though he's gonna take a little bit of a hit, because I do just want to give myself the best chance to play. I just want to give myself the best chance to play 2 lands the next 2 turns, so that way I can get this Elesh Norn into play. She might be able to steal the game for us. Well, that's incredibly rude. This might be a game where we gifts for lands, huh? Forest, plains, island, snow-covered forest. Does this leave any basics in my deck for this thing to go get? This doesn't leave a basic in my deck, does it? I probably want to be able to go get a island, actually. So this leaves basic island in my deck for this Tribe Elder to go get. And she's holding a scythe. I think this big thing over the top is like a hat, right? That's my understanding. That's all 4-head. And that sounds like 5-head to me. It's actually just part shark. Mama shark do 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 do. Mama shark do 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 do. You're welcome, parents. Sorry, not sorry. Seth's son, Valino, is Elesh Norn based on the Cenobites from Hellraiser? I'm not sure. Who's targeting Elesh Norn with that hat? Asking the real questions. Alright, don't Reflector Mage me, dog. Super dead to Reflector Mage. They have deputies. I did not shoot the sheriff, but I would love to shoot this deputy. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Indestructible, structible. She's gonna get path to exiled. She's gonna get path to exiled. Do 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 do. We're out of basics. Do 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 do. I'm gonna kick my space heater on for a minute or two. My toes are cold. Knock the chill off my floor. Hopefully once we knock the chill out, we'll be able to. Ooh. Alright, well that leaves me dead to another deputy, but I think I'm okay with that. Mama's home, and she's very hangry, chat. I guess I'm dead to 2-power flash creatures too, but I'm dead to 2-power flash creatures regardless, right? Let's just like go for the gusto. Go big or go home, chat. Go big or go home. Are you saying there is a creeping chill in my room? Am I dead yet? We have died, chat. Why aren't my shoes on? Because I'm at home. I don't wear shoes in the house. Oh, I boarded out Elesh last time, and I think that was probably wrong, so I'm not going to do that again. I'm just going to board in D-Sphere and Baneslayer and cut Mana Leak and Negate. Shoes are like pants not to be worn at home. Those are some strong feelings. Introducing you to Rune Halo. Yeah, that card's definitely sweet. Alright. Just a 6-drop and a 7-drop. Let's do it. Yeah, I think we would have really been in that game if we'd have hit our land on 4, which is again why I kicked it up to 25 lands in this deck, because I think it just like hitting your land drops is pretty important. Check out some of our options here. You are not a 3rd land. That's like a 4th land. So if I hit another green source here, which we did not. I've noticed as MTGA has been out, we haven't been playing Modern, Staple, Surgical in all of our decks. Comments or concerns? Yeah, we just play what people send me. Just play what the kids send in. Let's also grab Yield Temple Garden. Drop Gideon into play. And then we actually probably should have zoomed those. A bit of a risky click. Next turn, I get to get another green source and then Eternal Witness back a land. And like work our way on up to these pretty easily. What's my favorite card game besides Magic the Gathering? like trading card game. I've been playing Warhammer TCG is the game I've been playing off stream, mostly because they have a mobile client. The gameplay is really unique too. Huh. Do I just play the path now to keep pressure off my Planeswalker? I think I do. I think I'm going to path the Selfless Spirit. And then plus on here. For all you surgical fans, see the queue for Kaya Surgical Beam. You're welcome. Leonide, thank you for the 8-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good Monday and a great weekend. I'm going to go ahead and use this Eternal Witness to pick a fetch land back up. Just want to work my way up, hitting all my land drops. Kaya would be borderline busted if she could exile 2-cost things, especially in the standard format with Hydroid Crisis. Singer, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. I would love to play Courser of Kruphix. So we play Courser before we play our land. If there's a land on top of our deck, obviously we want to get it back. So we want to play that one as opposed to land from our hand. If they find a Queller here, we get to path to exile that. Well, that's rude. I guess those cards don't really matter, because like Courser of Kruphix is like a giant brick wall here on the ground. Like losing our Gideon's kind of annoying, but the rest of this seems fine for us. Yeah, I don't know. The 2 in the air is not really meaningful. It's a pretty slow clock. Please path me. I have another Deputy of Detention. Geist of Saint Trash, sure. We have 3 cards left. Sure. So I get 2 shots at a 6th land next turn. I'll have a draw step. And then if there's not a land under this Detention Sphere, I'll get to crack my fetch and take another shuffle. Alright, so let's do this. It's a pretty good one to have on top. I'm just going to D-Sphere their Supreme Phantom. The reason to take that is because it doesn't die to Elesh Norn. This also gives me better blocks against their Geist of Saint Traff next turn inside of combat. Really wish we would have hit a land that last turn, but the fact that we have a Baneslayer on top is at least kind of good for us. We're going to draw this Baneslayer next turn, and then hopefully we find a land underneath it. To like work our way up to this Elesh Norn 2 turns from now. Drug Skull Captain's real scary. All right, they're out of cards. What do you got? Are we just attacking me for 4 in the air? They could get aggressive here and smash with everything. I'm not out of basics, but Path to Exile is interaction for my opponent too, so I think I'm supposed to hold on to that. I'm gonna go ahead and double block here. And like obviously they're gonna get to sacrifice Selfless Spirit to like kill my Courser of Kruphix, which means I don't get to make a land drop next turn, but I do get to play this Baneslayer Angel, so I think this is fine for me. Like they're on nothing. So like I'm going to 9, but I'm getting to put Baneslayer into play here, which is good for me. I think part of the reason people think Seth's voice doesn't match his face is because Seth did content without a video camera for so long that people had this idea of what he's supposed to look like in their head from not having seen them, and then like whatever they had envisioned wasn't what he actually looks like. So like the fact that like I've always had a webcam and a lot of people always have webcams means that you don't have a chance to like form that image in your mind. Cryptic Command. All right. So they have no cards in their hand. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attack with this Baneslayer to buffer my health total. And then during their upkeep, I'm going to tap their team and draw a card. And we do this during their upkeep because that stops them from attacking for the turn. But it also does not give them the opportunity to draw a counterspell for the turn while their hand is empty. That happened to me with every content creator that went camless to camming it up. Yeah, I mean, and that's a very human thing, right? Like, I think we create these images. I'm sure radio doesn't really exist anymore with personalities, but I'm sure it was very similar with that too. Like, people would meet people that they listen to on the radio, and like they're picturing this person a specific way in their head. Oh gosh, well this. Thanks for the ramp, opponent. Lady Gaga appreciates your gift. She would like to come down one turn sooner. Ra ra oh ra ra da da do 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 boo do 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 boo do 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 do. Get him! Arr, arr. Smack you for 4. Love tap. Baby love tap, baby do 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 do. What round are we in? We are in the 3rd match here. We're currently 1-1. Hey Trax, thanks for the host. Hope you had a great morning. Welcome to folks coming over from there, hanging out, playing some Modern. Got looks like we're about to win this 3rd game against Bant Spirits here to be 2-1. Then we've got one more match of Modern before we move on to Standard for the day. Removal spell is lethal, right? I don't think they really have a comeback mechanic at this point. You learn the joys of trying to... You know... Oh, wait, that was game 2. That was game 2. I forgot there's a 3rd game. I don't know why I thought we were in game 3. Probably because the games take a long time. Alright, we're heading to game 3. And we're going to play one more match after this one with this 4-color gift stack. Is this too slow to keep on the draw? I think I'm going to keep it. The way Elesh Norn looks makes so much more sense when you picture it as Lady Gaga. Yeah, and like long games take so much longer on Magic Online than Arena just because of like how the mana system works, right? Like the lack of auto tapper here makes things take a long time. That is a lot of Mausoleum Wanderers. I'm glad our verdict is supreme, chat. I'm glad my verdict is supreme. Unfortunately, my third land drop might not be supreme. Look at that. Is there anything that says Hoagland Modern more than hoping to draw a land and drawing a 6-drop? My best friend went to GP Tampa this weekend, has never played Modern before, and went 10-5 with Tron. God bless. So, Gideon. Unified Will. Yep. That's true. We are the ones who chose to register 6-drops in our Modern deck. Hoping to draw land. That's a 5-drop. All right. And I'm sure we're going to draw, like, a 4-mana spell or, like, a Celestial Colonnade here. We drew a land. Why are we so lucky, chat? Lucky, lucky, lucky. We're a 3rd-rate duelist with a 4th-rate deck. That is definitely accurate. Just like we drew it up. Opponent has assembled their own Rampant Growth. The old build your own, if you would. All right, if we hit another untapped land next turn, we are going to be off to the races. Get to jam old Teferi into play, and then untap and have a Path to Exile. Congrats, Super. Yeah, Amulet Titan's a really sweet deck in general. Land. Oh, yeah. All right. All right. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do-do-do-do-do. This isn't quite Teferi on an empty board, but it's like really close, right? We're gonna like untap these lands and then path the Strong Skull before they get to do anything. Bye, Felicia. And then, like, at this point, we have Celestial Colonnade with which can play defense, which is pretty absurd for us. Blocks all their flying dorks. Oh no, please don't attack my Teferi. How will I ever win the game now? Oh, they're attacking me. You're ignoring Tefafa? Why would you ignore Teferi? He has feelings too. Why do you have to be so mean? Why are you so mean to Teferi? Alright, so I have 6 mana, and Teferi's going to untap 2 lands. So I'm going to go ahead and tap these, and then let them untap and cast this Gifts Ungiven. And then, you know, honestly, at this point, I think I might just go get 4 spells. Like, I have so many lands. Oh, you had one of your best possible cards. You had one of your best possible cards. That's adorable. I have a 4-mana card too, opponent. Alright. Let's get Unburial Rites, Baneslayer Angel, Elesh, Norn, Eternal Witness. These are a few of my favorite things. Do 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 do. Choose your fate. Pick your poison. Dealer's choice. Let's slow this down. I think we are rapidly approaching garbage time. Like they probably can't beat the cards I have in hand, much less giving me the worst 2 of these. Someone who has worked in retail during the holiday season, you're giving me worst flashback with your Christmas music. Yeah, I worked in a mall for a couple of Christmases during undergrad. All right, we are 2-1. 1-1 against Bant Spirits. Beat Abzan Poop Bears. On to the next one. Please, dear modern gods, gift us another mopey, slow modern deck that's not trying to do mean things. If our opponent plays like a Tron land on turn 1, I'm probably going to concede the match and try again for a 5th one. Sure. And before Dredge, yeah, maybe we'll take a mulligan on Dredge too. We'll play against Storm. I think we have it's a non-zero chance we could beat Storm. It's probably not good, but it might be interesting. Like Dredge or Tron would just dumpster us. Turn 1 Creeping Tar Pit. I love the mopey fair bracket, chat. I love the smell of fair modern in the morning. Creeping Tar Pit. I see you also hate winning, opponent. Oh no. Oh no. How do we ever beat a Bitter Blossom, chat? How on God's green earth do we ever beat a Bitter Blossom? Oh no. I've got all these Path to Exiles and Oust, chat. How do I ever beat a free 1/1 every turn? Oh no! Oh no! I don't think we're winning from this position, so I'm going to concede rather than show them my hand. Nice Mace Stun. Thank you for the very generous Tier 2 sub. I really appreciate that. My Tier 2 subs support me a little bit extra, so I give them a bonus every month. Be sure to take a peek at the deck queue and let me know which deck you'd like to bump up by 10 points. Thanks for the support. It's probably an okay Negate matchup. Gideon of the Trial's probably not great. Disenchant's probably good against what they have going on, huh? Let's give this a go. Do you do that through the website forum? No, for Tier 2 bumps, you just drop me a message here on Twitch. Just send me a whisper, or if you're in the subs Discord, you can do it there. Yeah, Bantam SCTR. Messages like that make me think that having the chat in sub-only mode is just the super correct move. I love validation for myself like that. Yeah, take a peek, zombie. That's a good one to thin out though. SCTR, can you, if you're on a desktop computer, can you leave a note on their user card saying why they were banned and not to unban them? I love that we can leave notes on user cards now. I left 2 Path to Exiles in my deck and we have both of them in the opener, so that's great. Sand's pretty reasonable. I get to a Watery Grave tapped on 1 and to hold Negate up on 2. I left a couple of paths in my deck because they do have things like Vendilion Click and sometimes Mistspine Click, and like killing Tar Pit is something we might want to do on occasion. But I definitely don't want to draw a bunch of them. Hey, Tribe Elder's great. Although I suppose if they have Bitter Blossom here, I'm going to be a little sad I don't have Negate up on 2. Even if it is nice to get my ramp on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna shave the top of the hair off soon. It's getting long to the point of being annoying. I'm gonna keep the beard and let the beard grow out, so that'll stay pink, but I think we're gonna cut the top short here soon this week like I normally do. Nah, I don't like to bring up in public when people are obnoxious and get themselves banned, because all that does is encourage other people who want to be obnoxious to get themselves mentioned. My wife prefers that I don't shave my head, and as someone who has no strong attachment to what my hair looks like, just that it's easy to maintain, I just do as I'm told. If she cares and you don't fight about it. Alright, I guess I'll cast Inquisition here. Yeah, honestly, like, shaving my head sounds like an annoying amount of maintenance. I'm just gonna smack them with this Colonnade. I don't have anything else going on. If they field me, it's whatever. If they Fatal Push this, I feel a little bit bad because I'm down a land from getting to this Elesh Norn. Wow, kind of surprised they're not using the Field of Ruin. Oh, they're clicking. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's like 3 to 4 minutes a day more than I do now, though. That's like 21 minutes a week. It's like half a TV show I could watch on Netflix. Could Unburial Rites the Tribe Elder Rapid Elesh. That is technically a legal play. We're pretty dead here. I'm gonna go ahead and concede and play the last one. Still got 15 minutes. We're in a little bit over. That's fine. We're 2 and 2. See if we can get a creature deck to finish things out. Decks like this, the easiest way to ask yourself if you have an okay matchup is, do your Day of Judgments and Wrath of Gods have meaningful text? If they do, the matchup's probably fine or borderline good for us. And if they don't, we're probably going to have a really hard time. So hopefully we get a matchup like, you know, humans or spirits or their Aether Vial deck where like our Elesh Norn and our sweepers are meaningful. I think this is a keep. The mana is a little bit awkward, but it's got Mana Leak on the play. And if we hit any of our 9 fetch lands, the fetch land lets Eternal Witness pick the fetch land back up. So it's basically an extra land that way. Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno, burn, baby, burn. Do 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 do. Beep beep do 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 do. Oh, you know what? I played the incorrect land here. I should have played the forest, so that way when if I draw a second green source here, I could play Witness on 3. Do I ambush Viper here? Yeah, I probably do, actually. It's gonna suck when they crack this fetch and Searing Blaze me. think I'm supposed to make an effort here. Drakenstern, thank you for the 5 months. I really appreciate that. Welcome back, and thanks for keeping me employed. Helix, sure, that worked out better than expected. I think everything worked out better than expected. All right, so hopefully they play Eidolon next turn, and then I untap and play Wrath of God. Rampaging Narwhals, good morning. Good morning to everybody. We're on our last match of Modern for the day, then we'll be heading on into Standard. As a heads up, I am updating my schedule a little bit starting this week. So moving forward, Mondays are going to be my long stream day. So I am planning to go till about 5 o'clock at least today. Maybe we'll go a little bit longer depending on what the viewer count looks like. And then Fridays, moving forward, I'm going to be starting late and ending late. I have something that I have to do Friday mornings. You got to Boros Charm and save their Goblin guy. Just have a different random spell to cast. I think it's correct to 1-for-1 this year. I'm going down to 7. They have 2 cards in their hand. Good chance we die this turn. I guess not good chance, but possible. Likely dead in 2 turns. Possibly dead this turn. Yep, Boros Charm probably means we're dead. Modern. Brutal efficiency. This is the downside to playing a deck like this. Like, we've chosen to put Elspeth Sun's Champion in our deck, and our opponent has chosen to register Burn. So. Baneslayer and Elesh are both appealing. Dispel and Negate are decent. The sweepers are slow and clunky. I think D-Sphere is probably fine. Nissa Vastwood Seer is slow. I want my Iona. She is better than Elesh Norn. Doesn't seem good for us, but seems like as good as we can get. JVL, we found the playable modern decks. Yep. We found the first brutal efficient modern deck of the league. It took us 5 matches, but we did it. It looks like we're going to get run over. Do you have a hot take on Goblin Guide Burn versus Mono Red Phoenix? I haven't played much with or against Mono Red Phoenix, so I don't know. I would assume it's good for the Eidolon of Rhetoric deck, or the Eidolon of the Great Revel deck, but I don't have first-hand experience to confirm that. This hand's really good if I draw a green source, so I'm going to keep it. It also really speaks volumes to, like, what Modern is as a format. That, like, this deck that I'm playing that's aiming to put Iona into play on turn 3 is solidly turn 5 is solidly classified as a fair deck. Just like, this is Modern. How does one determine if something is slow while boarding? Well, the speed refers to how expensive something is generally. So a card that costs a lot of mana is considered slow. Green-black's been doing very well in general in the format. I think green-black, so the problem with fair decks, or the upside to fair decks, depending on how you look at it, has always been that they have to pick and choose what they want to beat. There's a lot of graveyard decks right now. So, like, if you just, like, decide your green-black rock deck is not going to lose to a graveyard deck, you can probably do very well very consistently. I think especially with, I actually had updated the green-black rock list on my website Friday or Saturday or something like that to include main deck Kalitas, just because, like, it's really good against Phoenix and Dredge. I'm going to grab a second green source here so I can cast Courser of Kruphix or Eternal Witness if we draw it. Well, now I just pass, right? Because I get to Gifts Ungiven, untap Iona with Dispel up. Usually green-black rock doesn't even play 4 skews, Anarchist. Like, I think the build on my site at least has Has two skews to, do I negate this? I'm just gonna let it happen. Has 3 skews to Kalitas. Yeah, when we played Phoenix on Thursday and Friday, it felt like we just didn't have a chance every time we played against Green, Black, and Jund. Alright, well, this game should be lights out. Opponent definitely stumbled too long. Ferocious Ferret, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, that's what we're doing, Burgle. It takes 8 mana to do that, so I have to end step Gifts, untap, and get her. Did I say Elesh? I might have said Elesh. I meant Iona. Elesh in the sideboard. You're boarded Lady Gaga out. She's far inferior to Iona. Gonna get our zoom on here so we don't misclick. So again, Gifts Ungiven says get 4 cards with different names, but the way the rules of Magic the Gathering work is whenever you're in a hidden zone, you can fail to find. So basically, you fail to find the other 2 cards, so your opponent is forced to put the 2 cards you pick into your discard pile. And then we get to reanimate Iona here. Iona is a 7/7 flying creature that says pick a color. Opponent can't play spells of that color. So we name red here. Which actually means they can't cast these Rift Bolts. These Rift Bolts just say suspended because they're not castable. Well, it reads up to 4. If you look at the original printing of the card, it doesn't say up to 4. That's the errata on it. I believe. I'm like 90% sure that's errata. Because MTGO updates the Oracle text. Yeah, so here's the OG printing of Gifts Ungiven. Says search your library for 4 cards with different names and reveal them. Whereas if you go to the spellbook one, it says up to 4. And Magic Online has that change because it is the current Oracle text on the card. So they put up to 4 in the Oracle text to make it clear that you can do that with the card. Only find 2 cards. Because it was confusing. That was very common source of judge calls before they changed the Oracle text. Lad Chad is like really good in this matchup. It's like, I'm dead to turn 2 Eidolon with this hand. I have Lad Chad into Gifts Ungiven though. Can Lad Chad bridge us into Gifts? I don't think he can. I think on the draw I need to mulligan this and look for an Oust or a Path or a Tribe Elder. This hand's much better. I think on the draw I just need Oust, Path, or Tribe Elder, basically. This is game 3 for those of you tuning in for the standard portion coming up. This is game 3 of our last league here on Modern. Or last match here, sorry. Be on to some Abzan Hero here momentarily. Perfect. So, I'm not going to be writing every week anymore, but Cool Stuff Inc. did leave me a standing invitation to send them articles as I have time and feel inspired to write. So, tomorrow morning on Cool Stuff Inc., there's going to be a full primer on the Abzan Hero guide going up, including a sideboard guide, talking about the cards it's playing, why it's playing those cards, etc. So, you'll be able to find that there. Best standard format I remember. Last season's standard format, before this most recent set to introduce, is probably my favorite standard format of all time. I'm sat in an Uber on my way to the Games Developer Conference. Entertain me for a 2-hour traffic jam. We're going to be here, Bob. God, 2 hours in traffic. That's brutal. Yeah, I need to do a Teamer Domri board guide as well. Although that probably won't be an entire article. It'll probably just be a board guide that I link. Turkey Sloth, thank you for the very generous tier 3 upgrade. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Welcome, welcome. So we're at 13. We're taking 4 inside of combat here. If they don't have a path to exile, Iona might steal this again. But it's worth noting, I don't have a way to protect my Iona with this hand. Good morning, Ben Faith. Yeah, having kids, as someone who's a parent, having kids with shared walls has to be really tough. So we're never beating a path to exile here, but if they don't have path, we might be okay. Normally, you don't need to tag me necessarily to see something. Sometimes I just miss things still. Why no Bellhaunt and Abzan Hero? I don't think Bellhaunt solves any problems that Abzan Hero has. Like, I look at the Abzan Hero deck, and as I'm looking at it trying to fix issues that it has, I don't think Bellhaunt addresses any problems that it has. Remember, there's infinite cards in Magic the Gathering that fit into every possible strategy. So, like, you need to, the correct way, in my opinion, to go about building and tuning decks is to say, okay, I've got this core, and, like, what problem do I have that is solved by adding this card to it? Yeah, I agree, Troll. I think we have more than enough people, even with just the subs in here, to keep conversation going, which is great. So we're not cracking a fetch land because that means we die to Eidolon. If they don't have path here, we're gonna be in a pretty good spot because I can path their Eidolon and then I can Gifts Ungiven. And then this gift, once I path their Eidolon, this Gifts Ungiven actually gets Negate, Dispel, Snapcaster Mage, Eternal Witness, and then we'll have protection for our Iona. Mono red can be rough for Abzan Hero. That hasn't been my experience. Like, it's not unlosable, but I don't think it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. Do I just play Teferi here? Teferi's probably worse than Giftsing for protection at this point. Is it really protection for Iona when it triggers? I have a path to exile in my hand, Steric. So yeah, it's protection. Oh, I could Teferi Tuck, huh? That's a good suggestion. I should nah, I don't know. Like, I get to path the Eidolon and then Gifts here, and then, like, once I untap after this Gifts, they're just locked out, right? The upside to Teferi tucking is it leaves me enough health to use these fetch lands, but I don't think I need that to win the game. So, like, I'm dead. I'm super dead to path right now, but once we get to untap, that's no longer going to be on the table for them. So, like, they need to have drawn path this turn, because we know they didn't have it last turn, because if they had it last turn, they would have used it and killed us. I took your... what do you mean by put in the Explore package, Dig? The Temur Domri deck has the full Explore package in it that we've been playing. All right, so we're going to get Negate, Dispel. I don't have double white, so I can't get anything like Baneslayer, Eternal Witness, Snapcaster Mage. Have your kids watched Giantsor on Disney Channel? Oh, we don't have cable TV, so the kids mostly watch things that are on Amazon or Netflix. Is there a reason to not just swing with the Colonnade and the Iona? Yeah, because I die, because I'm at 3. I also don't have a second white. Oh, they're at 8. I got you. Yeah, I don't have second white. All right, sweet. So we got the 3/2. Sometimes Iona's fast enough. So and that last game was a good example of like mulliganing a hand that had lands and spells just because the plan that it was executing wasn't good enough for the matchup, right? So like in that last game against Burn, I looked at an opening hand, I was just like, this kind of does stuff, but it's just too slow for the matchup. And then we mulliganed into Tribe Elder into turn 4 Iona, and then turn 4 Iona with them not having a path to exile gave us a route to lock them out of the game. You're at 3 and could fetch EOT a couple of turns ago. That's what I was saying. Okay, so the details are important. You're right. So what we could have done there was at the end of turn, instead of path to exiling, we could have fetched a tapped land and then activated the Colonnade. So I agree with you that we should have used that turn to kill them. So, and again, that's one of the things that's difficult to pick up when people just like rapid fire short messages. So the suggestion was at the end of their turn when I cast Path plus the Gifts Ungiven, I could have instead just fetched a White Shock tapped and then untapped and used the Colonnade plus the Iona to kill them. Because at that, well, okay, so actually, I have a reason for you, Snyder. No, I don't actually. I was gonna say Deflecting Palm could get us there, but Deflecting Palm's red, so Iona prevents that. So yeah, I agree with you. So because they were at 8, instead of doing the path plus gifts, I should have just fetched a 2, gotten a tap land. All right, I like that. At any rate, I think this deck's kind of okay. I think a lot of these decks are kind of okay. The big problem with decks like this, in my opinion, in general, in Modern, is that these decks are really playing the matchup lottery. The question you have to ask yourself if you're playing a deck like this, if you're going to be successful, is, am I playing a matchup where Wrath of God and Elesh Norn have text? If I am, the matchup's going to be winnable and reasonable. If I'm not, I'm going to have a hard time. And even some matchups like Spirits, if they have the right mix of disruption, even though our sweepers have text there, we're still not guaranteed to win by any means. So if you're expecting a lot of creature decks, I think a deck like this is more than reasonable. If you're a little bit lucky, like in that last match, you can steal against Burn, especially post-board with the Iona. So fine. If you know your local format and expect a lot of creature decks where your Wraths are good, this deck's probably fine. But if I was playing into a field of, say, Dredge and Phoenix, I wouldn't really care. I wouldn't really care for this deck. Oh, you meant team or